day, everybody. So today we have a great opportunity to talk with Alvaro Masino, who has just joined Couples Center and Terapia International. And we are going to start with maybe with the opportunity for you, Alvaro, to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, hello, my name is Alvaro Masino. I've been studying psychology in Buenos Aires, Argentina for several years. This got me a degree in psychology and the ability to practice in Argentina as a psychologist and a psychotherapist, while my training is mostly in psychoanalysis. I also had the opportunity to study existentialism and logotherapy, and I currently work full-time with clients in Buenos Aires, which is the capital of Argentina. I don't know if you want to...
I think I was going just to ask you a few questions about the mental health in Argentina and all the countries in South America. I think that is also very, very relevant because we are a global village. So I think that is for our audience will be important for you to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I thought about these questions, and mostly what I wanted to let you know is that psychology is very developed here in Argentina specifically. This is the second country in the world that has most psychologists per capita in the whole world, right after France. So in Argentina, there is no stigma associated with mental health. Only we encounter problems or issues with older people, you know, the generation before that still associates going to the therapist with being crazy, for instance, which is something that in time is slowly changing. Regarding the rest of the countries in Latin America, I believe that Argentina in turn is very open and very progressive, let's say culturally, but this is different from other countries in Latin America. And what I find is that countries that are most conservative are very resistant to go to therapy, you know, for individuals, because there's this stigma still associated with mental health. So this is a challenge for sure, but we are changing that. I mean, newer generations are much more open to go to therapy, and here is actually, let's say, seeming in good eyes to go to therapy. One of the issues that specifically women look for a man here in Argentina, which is, I think it's funny, is that people or their partners they are dating, they get all excited once they realize they go to therapy, which is very funny. But yes, this is a situation which I would say people are open, but specifically in Argentina, they are much more open to go to therapy, and that's let's say a macro picture regarding therapy in Latin America, I believe.
I think that is very, very interesting what you said, that there is a high psychology population in Argentina. It's one of the highest professional populations in Argentina, and that is very, very, very interesting. Very important also that the stigma regarding mental disorders is relatively or very, very low. I think that is also something that is very, very encouraging, which is unfortunately one of the issues that we are still experiencing here in Australia, but there is a lot of stigma regarding mental health issues. However, we are trying to break down these barriers regarding mental health. Today, we are going to talk a lot about, not a lot, but as much as we can, about some of the issues about couples therapy. I think that is one of the areas that you have extensive experience and expertise in working with couples from a psychodynamic perspective and also from an existential perspective. So what we here in Terapia Internacional and also COP Center, we work with the object relations couple therapy, which is basically a particular approach that uses psychoanalytical concepts that have been derived from clinical experience in working with individuals, couples, and families. So with this particular and with this unique approach, we are going to focus on the couple's relationship and not on its individual members. And it's also going to be very important because through the work with the couple, we are going to try to understand some of the some of the internal world that is maybe affecting the couple, and through introjections and identifications. However, we often find in our practice, in our work with couples, issues such as, for example, infidelity. And I think that's a very, very important issue, because the issues about trust are going to be significantly influenced through this process. Can you tell us a little bit more about what are the dynamics behind the infidelity and how it's going to influence and affect the relationship?
Yes. Well, first to say, I thought of this question. First to say that all the couples I had, or mostly the majority of all of them, if not everyone, every couple, they came to therapy dealing with this issue of unfaithfulness or infidelity, as you may want to call it. We are strictly, let's say, taking monogamous heterosexual couples in what I'm going to say, because other type of couples have another, let's say, terms or another particularities. But yes, I mean, most of the couples I had, they came for these issues. And from a psychoanalytical perspective, what I've been thinking is this culturally, right now, society expects the other, our couple, let's say, to fulfill every need we have, right? So this is very close linked with the idea of satisfaction, right? From psychoanalysis. So couples are they tend to idealize what being in a relationship is. And sometimes, in my particular experience, sometimes the male is the one that goes out and have sexual intercourse with another partner, let's say. And this is something that on their part, we often see that the idealization of a couple is someone very, very strong, and they engage with one another, believing that the other will fulfill every need they have. And once they realize they don't, because there is a struggle between this idealization and the reality of being in a couple and living with a couple. When they don't find that level of satisfaction, they go out and search for another partner. This is basically what Freud described as the identity of perception, during the early stages of development. And people constantly try to emulate that early perception of complete satisfaction, and they repeat this behavior often, right? And so I think this is one of possible explanations regarding this behavior. Many times I believe that all people look for the same, which is the acceptance of others, the feeling of being desired, understood, but sometimes this is a play between that idealization and the reality. Freud described also this struggle, and as William Blake has two books of poems which are split, and I use this reference in my couple therapies, when the first book is called the Book of Innocence, and the second is the Book of Experience. And the idea for me is to engage in the aim of getting people to realize that everything in couples is not ideal. Not every satisfaction is going to be met with their partner, because they are flawed, like everyone, right? So I have this set of stages that couples go when dealing with an infidelity. Is that I often say that the one that, let's say, the victim of this situation, they seek for revenge. They decide to be together, let's say, or they continue their relationship, but at first it appears that the victim, let's say in this situation, try to take revenge on the other, and this happens, and it's very normal for it to happen. But what I often point out is that this stage must end at some point, and because the people cannot live with the partner often, reminding them what they do, So there is a radical choice to be made with couples, and at one point in therapy, they need to be able to say, okay, I accept what happened, but I'm not going to take revenge on that, or not going to take more revenge on that, because they cannot build after that. But the idea is for them to build a relationship based on trust rather than on control, and that is often what happens with couples after going through a situation like this.
Yeah, I think that's very insightful what you said, and how important it's just to overcome the first barriers that couples are going to present when the infidelity occurs. The anger and the distress and the anxiety and the stress that this is going to cause, and then when you are able to negotiate a place in the therapy where you are going to explore how other objects in the life of the individual, past relationships or the relationship with the primary caregivers, are going to also influence in the way how the person is presenting these kind of issues in the relationship. But however, in many cases, what we are going to find is that people are going to come to therapy, and couples are going to come to therapy, and that they are going to complain about communication problems. I think that's also something that something that you may stay for a little while, but I think that the communication problems is reflecting some other dynamics that are behind. Can you explain a little bit more for our audience what is going on there?
One of the things that I find very ironic, let's say, is that people do complain, about communication issues with their couples, and the idea behind that is for couples to be able to express themselves freely with one another. I quote in a psychologist, he says that you cannot have a good relationship without uncomfortable touch. So this is very wise. I mean, for you to have a good relationship, you need to address the elephant in the room. You need to address all the issues you may have with one another in several areas of your life, right? And in this whole of issues or topics, Sexual desire is one of them. It's just one of them, but there are many more. So what I find ironic regarding one thing that I always see is that people say they can express to one another freely, and they say that, but many times when people do so and express something, let's say maybe shameful to their partners, the partners get mad, or they cannot accept what the other one is saying. And so they complain, and there is anger, there is anxiety. So the other one, the one that expresses freely, is not going to do that anymore, because what's the point if the other one is going to get mad? So people say that they want to express freely and leave the other to express freely by themselves, but the reality is that the people that say that maybe need to provide, let's say, a safe space and be able to deal with something that may be frustrating, and that's one of the issues that I find more interesting, like how to have people to deal with maybe a complicated talk from their partners in order to let's say have a more complex communication, and not everything to be a kind of superficial. At the end, as I was saying, is that people want to feel held by their partners. They want to feel safe. They want to feel, and they want to feel free. Many times communication problems happens because they are not talking actually at all. It's not that they are misunderstanding anything, but they are not talking at all. So it is crazy how as a society or culturally we engage maybe in behaviors that we cannot speak of, and that we don't seem to have any taboos, but really talking is like complicated and still taboo at some point.
Exactly. And I think that is also, you are touching an issue that is also very, very important in the way how people are going to communicate very intense emotions and or are going to be free to share and to relate to each other in different ways. But I am curious also to understand a little bit more some of the issues that we are going to have in therapy, which is the transference issues that people are going to present in therapy. As you know, in an individual therapy is going to, in working with one person is going to be very different than working with two people there, because they are not going to just to reflect their own issues into the relationship, but also they are going to also play some of the roles that they have in their own background, in their own relationships with significant objects in their life. No, so and sometimes that can complicate the process of therapy, and you may find yourself, for example, the enraged wife who has an disloyal and cheating husband, and how is the issues of trust, and how, for example, the triangles in therapy are going to be presented. So how do you deal with transference in the couples therapy? Yes. And also at the same time with your own issues, with your own feelings regarding and the counter-transference issues in your relationship with your clients.
Yes. Well, there's this point, at first, especially at first, when the role of the psychologist is idealized, as we were. There is at first, especially, when the role of the psychologist, me as the psychologist in front of them, my role is idealized, and my personality is idealized by the couple that is coming here. They know that I have they want to believe that I have all the answers, and there is especially clear with Transference, and they want to get on their side of the situation, and so a position, let's say an alliance. They're like struggling to have an alliance with me and to be right when discussing with their partner. So this is a position I do not like. I mean, this position is like resistant to let's say analysis and to go deeper between their communication and what happened. So while it's definitely an element of erotic transference, especially in case of women, in my case, what I try to do is to have everyone on board with the same aim, and I put myself in a position and I try to work in the position that we are here to solve their issues, and I'm just a facilitator, and that we have all the same goal, and I get to at one point I get to also for the partner to trust me, even though there was some transference on their partner side, but I need to have both of them on board with the aim of therapy, which is solving their issues, and to be able to build something out of that situation, maybe a challenging situation. And in my experience, we could do that. And now I have couples that they dealt with specifically infidelity issues, and they're they're very well, and they are like having children, and but from a reality perspective, which is different than idealized perspective, which was something that maybe happened to them.
Yeah, I think that it certainly you have mentioned about the idealization of themselves and the partners in the process, and how the therapy and psychotherapy is not going to just look into the issues in the here and now, the transference and counter-transference issues, what is going on in the room, but however, we need to also to work with the issues of the background, the object relations in their lives and in their experiences. Alvaro, thank you very much for this time, and has been very, very, very informative, and certainly we are very happy to have you working with us at COP Center and also with Terapia Internacional. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.